Alright, so hey guys, welcome back. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not talking too loud. Oh, you okay? It's okay. You okay? Yeah, he don't need it. Okay. Okay, I have him in here because I was doing the dishes and stuff and I didn't want to leave him in here. But, so hi, welcome. This is Jadon. I don't know if you can... He looks mad. But, so it's been a crazy week. He's a week and 1 day, so he's 8 days old. Oh man, this video is going to be crazy to talk about. Okay, so in my last video, it was kind of like a slideshow montage type of thing because I couldn't really film a lot. I was in a lot of pain because I had an emergency C-section. So we're going to talk about that. Let's just go ahead and start with it. So I was 40 weeks and 3 days when I had him, and I did not expect him to come. I'm at loss for words. So I'm sorry if I kind of stutter or I talk a lot or I say and I look down or something. Bear with me because this is a really hard video for me to film without wanting to like start bawling my eyes out. So, and I'm gonna say so a lot too. Alright, so I had an appointment on August 28th, and it was supposed to be a checkup so that way I could see if I was dilating even more, because I was only 1 centimeter, and I was 1 centimeter for I think like 2 weeks or something. And I was going to the doctor. I was getting ready to go to the doctor. I set my alarm for 6:30 because I was going to get up at 7, but I like to kind of wake up early and then kind of hit the snooze button. So I got up at 6:30 to use the restroom, and then I laid back down, and then at 7 was when I was actually going to get ready because my appointment was at 9, so it was pretty early, and usually me and Jonathan leave at 8 to go. So I stood up and I just kind of felt something like, I can't explain it. If you're a girl, you know, like when you first start your period and you're like you're like that. That's what I felt, but I was like, what? And so I kind of just went like, and I pushed a little bit, and water just started dripping down my leg, and I hurried and I hit Jonathan's leg, and I was like, my water just broke, and I've never seen him get up so fast. He got up fast, and he was like, oh, okay, do I tell my mom? And I was like, yes, tell your mom. And so it took us about like an hour to get everything. We had our bags packed and stuff, but I knew that I wasn't having contractions right away as soon as my water broke. So once the hour passed, we got everything into the car, and we were getting ready basically because we didn't know if I was gonna stay at the hospital or if they were gonna tell me to come back, because sometimes they send you back home. And so I sitting in the car, and then I realized that I was having a really sharp pain, and I was like, I think this is a contraction. So I started breathing hard, and I was like, oh my gosh, it hurts. And it went from going literally from the longest contraction like interval that I had was 13 minutes, and I was timing all of them. And then it went down to 10, and then by the time I was at the hospital, they were literally 5 minutes apart. 5 minutes apart. So I came into the ER, and I was like, my water broke, and he said, okay, go take a seat over there and fill out your paperwork so we can get you in the hospital and into your room. And I was like, okay. So I was filling out paper, and then Jonathan was right next to me, and he was just kind of waiting because it kind of took a little while. And every contraction that I felt, I was just trying my best to stay calm. So I just kept breathing, and then she was like, I'm sorry, we'll get it fast. We'll get you to this paperwork fast. And I was like, okay. So I'm filling out the paperwork, and then more water starts coming out. And I'm like, my water is still leaking, like a lot's coming out. And she said, okay, let me call someone. And so she called someone, and they came down with the wheelchair, and we went up to labor and delivery. So as soon as I got in there, they were like, we got to test your like swab inside of you to see if you are really leaking water, if that's your water, and then we're going to check how dilated you are and get you hooked up. And so I got into the room, me and Jonathan were there, and Jonathan were just like, oh my gosh, like, this is happening, like, we're going to stay. And they were like, let me let your doctor know that you're here, because I did have an appointment with her, so she was there. So she was like, let me let your doctor know and ask if you can stay, or if you're staying, which I'm pretty sure you are. And so she did, and she was like, okay, it looks like you're going to have a baby tonight or tomorrow, who knows? And I was like, okay. So I was sitting there, and I was feeling the contractions so bad. Like, it was hurting. I was not expecting them to feel like that, honestly. It feels like, oh man, it hurts. It hurts. You know, like when you get like a Charlie horse, it's like 10 times worse, but in your stomach. It's like, it feels like you want to like claw something. And I started crying. And I was like, this hurts so bad. And she was like, let me get you some medicine, like to put in your IV. So she put something in me, and it lasted for like maybe 20 minutes. And Jonathan had fallen asleep on the couch because he didn't sleep very well. And he was like, if you need me, just come call me, or say my name, and I'll go with you, because he was by my side the whole time. And I told him if he wanted to rest, he could, because I was gonna rest too, or try to at least. So I was falling asleep just a little bit, but then I realized that it was way more painful. It wasn't like the medicine was wearing off, and I was just kind of like, oh my god, this hurts, like I can't do it. And my dad had texted me, and I had let everyone know, or just my parents and then his parents, that my water had broke, because I didn't want everybody showing up at the hospital right away, just like our close immediate family. Between the whole hour, I'm just breathing and I'm trying my best, and my dad gets there and he's like, how are you feeling? And I start crying, and I'm like, Dad, this hurts, like I can't do it, I need an epidural. And keep in mind, when I got to the hospital, I was 3 centimeters dilated. That's why I also got to stay. But by the time that hour had passed, I was already at 5, because then they came in again to check. Well, not an hour, maybe 2 hours. But they had came in to check before I got the epidural on my back to see how much I was dilating, and I was at 5. So I'm telling my dad, I'm like, oh my god, Dad, it hurts, like I can't, it's so painful. And it went from going to 5 minutes to literally 2 minutes. I could not breathe. I was like, it's not working, it's not, oh man, it was just so horrible. I was like, I can't believe that I'm getting, sorry, the light just changed, it got dark in here, but I was like, I can't believe, like, it's happening so fast. Like, this was within like 2 hours. And then finally my mom gets there, and they all get there after I get the epidural. So it only took them, I think, 10 minutes to come in and give me the epidural. So I'm talking to my dad, I'm telling him to go get the nurse, and my dad's like, oh, she needs it now. He's like, I can tell he's worried. And so he comes in, the doctor comes in, or the guy, I don't know the word, okay? I'm talking really fast, I'm sorry. The guy comes in, and so does like the nurses, and they're hooking me up to this thing that detects the heartbeat of the baby. And so she puts it on me, and she was like, okay, she's like, tell me when you're not having a contraction, which was really hard because I was having them within two minutes, like a minute and 2 minutes with each other. So I hold on to her, and I'm breathing, and the guy's getting everything ready. He's wiping my back off, and then my actual doctor comes in. She was like, oh, you're in some labor, and she was like, don't worry, we're gonna give you the epidural, and you'll be a new person after that. And I was like, okay. So she walked away, and she was like, I'll be back and to check up on you in a little while. So she had left, and this didn't take long at all. I know it sounds like a lot because of the storyline, but this was like within 5 minutes of after that 10 minutes had passed of me waiting. Whenever they came in, this was within like 5 minutes. So I was breathing, and I was holding her, and the nurse was holding me, and she was just like, okay, we're gonna breathe, tell me when you're done having a contraction. So the contraction went down, but I knew it was gonna come back again, so I told her, I was like, okay, hurry, because it's gone right now, but it's gonna come back. So he starts putting the epidural in me, which wasn't painful that much. It just felt like a little pinch, but as soon as he put it in, it started working. My legs felt like warm. It was, okay, so like, say this is my body, right? This is my hips. This is weird, but this is my hips and like my feet and stuff. It felt like warmness coming down like that. And I was like, oh, okay. As soon as I got it, this is where I get really emotional. As soon as I got it, the heartbeat of the baby started going slower. Like I think it wasn't the epidural that had given me that, or that the reason why the baby's heartbeat was dropping. It already was, but we couldn't tell until we put that thing on. So they put it on me, and the baby's heartbeat started getting slower. And they were like, everybody needs to get out, because that's when my mom and them started coming in too. This was like happening so fast. They're like, everyone needs to get out. And so everyone had got out because more people were coming. I just can't explain it. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but just know within like these 5 minutes of me getting the epidural, more people were coming, and they're waiting by the door, because nobody can really see you getting an epidural unless, like, I don't know, I can't explain it, because I thought my dad would have to get out, but he didn't end up having to get out. But Jonathan was there, and he was watching, and then they were like, I noticed she started pulsing on my stomach, like trying to move my stomach, and I think it was because she was trying to see if his heartbeat would go back up. And she was like, hold on. And I was like looking around, and she was like, we're gonna lay you on your side, okay? And I laid on my side, and he had already injected the epidural, so it was already working. And I laid on my side, and she was starting to press on my stomach again. And she was like, we need more people. And then after they told everyone to get out, all these nurses came in, and my mom was like, I'm her mom, I need to stay. And Jonathan was like looking, and I couldn't really look at them. They just moved closer. They just moved closer. And I was just really scared, because I didn't know what was going to happen to him. And so they had laid me on my side, and then she was like, get on your knees, okay? You gotta go fast. You gotta work fast. So I could barely feel my legs because the epidural was kicking in. So I just literally threw my body in there, and there were so many of them, the nurses, and they put me in. She was like, get down, and she put me on this part of my arms, and my butt was in the air. And she put her hand inside me to see if she could feel his head. She was like, I'm sorry if this is uncomfortable, okay? We gotta work fast. But I couldn't feel it, and I was like, it's okay. And then out of nowhere, she just puts a breathing mask on me. She was like, her blood pressure's dropping really low, and she's like, work fast. And then she was like, the baby's heartbeat is dropping. And then my mom was like, it's okay, Drana. And then I just, more people were coming in, like more nurses. And she was like, we're going to take her into emergency C-section, let's go. And this happened so fast, like 5 minutes. And I was like, I started to cry. My mom, I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, can he come with me? And I was pointing at Jonathan. And Jonathan was like fighting with them, kind of, not fighting, but like very stern voice, and was like, he's like, hey, can I go with her? And they were like, no, stay back. And they just started wheeling me away, like super fast. And we were running. I just remember looking up, and I had the breathing mask on. And I was like, what's happening? And they were like, we can't talk right now. We have to go. And so we get into a room, and they literally just throw my body onto a thing. They just lift me up, and they're like, hurry up. And then the surgeon comes in, and I couldn't see anything really. I was just looking up, and I started crying, and I was like, what's happening? I'm like, please tell me what's going on. And I felt like liquid pour onto me, like spray onto me, and I was like, what's happening? And I started to cry, and then this lady, she held my face like this, and she was like, it's okay, you gotta calm down. And I was like, I just looked at her. I just looked at her, and I told her, I was like, please don't let him pass away. I was like, I don't care about me, just don't let him pass away, okay? And she was like, don't say that, you both are gonna make it, okay? She was like, this is our job, and we're gonna do everything we can so that way both of y'all are healthy, okay? And she said it so fast, and then she said, you're gonna go to sleep now. And that was the last thing I had heard her say. And then it was like a blink. I just had it's like I went black, and then I opened up my eyes, and then I looked around, and I was back in the labor and delivery room, and I saw the first thing. I had opened my eyes, I was looking for my baby, and I opened my eyes, and I saw Jonathan holding him, and it was like a relief, because I was so scared that I was gonna wake up and not have him. I was just really scared, like really scared. It was the most traumatic experience I had ever been through. So I had him within 3 hours of me being at the hospital. It didn't even take long. I was out for an hour, and they took him out within 5 minutes of me being out, literally, because my mom's, she was freaking out, and Jonathan was just trying his best to calm down from what my mom has told me. I think they were both just like, what's going on? So finally my mom had told me that the doctor, I guess, or someone had went in the room and were like, we need to talk to you guys or something. And my mom said she was scared because she thought something had happened to me, but she said the baby's okay, and so is your daughter, and you have a baby. She was like, I think he's already born, let me see real quick. And she said that the lady had went and like out the door and then came back in the room and was like, he's already born if you want to go look. And so they went to go look they went to like a room or something, or another part where I was at, and there was a glass window, and they said they saw his feet kicking everywhere. And she was like, you want to hear him cry? And she said they pushed the door open and they could hear him cry, but she was like, he's healthy, he's okay. As soon as we pulled him out, he was crying, so that's a good sign. So that's what happened. I opened my eyes, and I was in the hospital bed, and I saw him holding him, and I just remember I was like kind of blinking a lot. I was just kind of like that, and Jonathan came over, and they had given me my baby, and I was just holding him. And that clip was in the last video, so I'll put it again right here, like next to my face or something. But this is when I was holding him, and I was telling Jonathan to record, and I still was just really scared that I couldn't really feel a bond automatically right away. And that's not like in a bad way, because of course as soon as I saw him I was like, oh my gosh, like it's my baby. But I didn't feel like, you know, like I wouldn't know, because this is my first experience. But from hearing from other people, you know, when they do vaginal delivery like I was supposed to, they say it's just like the best feeling ever for them to be pulled out and put right onto your chest. And I didn't get that, and it made me upset, because I wish I would have been there as soon as I was there. But I mean, I wish I would have been awake. So whenever they put him on me, I felt the love automatically, but I was just confused a little bit. That's why I say I didn't have the bond yet. Like, I didn't feel any like a spark or something. I was just like, oh, I was like, okay, he's here. I was just happy he was safe. I was more scared than excited. I was terrified. I was really terrified. And for every mom that has ever had a delivery like this, or even if it was vaginally, but it was still scary for them, props to them for getting through it, because I the next like 3 days that I was there, I had baby blues bad, which is like where you're sad a lot, you know. I was crying and I was frustrated, and breastfeeding was really hard for me. I had scabbed and I was bleeding everywhere. It was painful, and I was having a hard time, a really hard time, and I was trying my best to keep it together because I was in so much pain. It hurt. It hurt. C-sections hurt. It was just hard. As soon as I was holding him, I didn't get the golden hour either. I didn't get the golden hour with my baby. But they did give me time, because Jonathan and his family had got in the room, and so did everyone else. And I was like, here, you guys can hold them, because I could tell they were wanting to hold them. And I was like, okay, I'm like, Jonathan, bring them to them so they can hold him. And then everybody had kind of took their turn coming up to me and hugging me and asking me how I felt. And I was just like, I'm in a lot of pain, because I didn't really feel the pain when I first woke up. It was more of like progressive. So when I was the more I was laying there, the more I was looking at my legs, and I was in shock that I had just went through surgery. And yeah, I'm sorry I cried, but it was scary. It was really scary for me, and I wasn't expecting that. That's why when I put birth vlog, it was supposed to be me giving birth and, you know, having a video of it. Obviously not of that, but of me, you know, showing the emotion, showing everything. But this is reality. Sometimes that doesn't happen for everyone, you know. He's asleep. I need to wake him up though, because I'm not trying to have him up all night. But yeah, so that was what happened. And I'm sorry I went MIA on a lot of people. There's a lot of people that congratulated me that I never got to say thank you to. So thank you, everyone. Just know that it's every day's a learning. I'm learning something new. I'm trying my best to do what's best for him. Let me see what time it is. Sorry, I was checking the time because his feeding time is in 30 minutes. But, yeah, he's a blessing to me. I'm just happy that he's here, that he's safe. Jonathan's doing an amazing job. He's perfect. He's such a good dad. But I need to, like, you know, get it together for myself, because I don't want to be so worried all the time, or staring at my baby and just like, please, like, don't let nothing happen, don't let nothing happen. I pray constantly in my head. I'm like, please God, and I want to calm down. So if I go MIA for a little while, just know it's because I'm still working, you know, to get myself together. I'm still pumping. I have to pump every time he eats, and it's frustrating, but it's still worth it. So I thank you, God, for blessing me with this beautiful baby boy. And we just pray for our family and all of our friends and all those that we love and that love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I'll go ahead and show you him, because I know you guys are probably staring at him. Yeah, there you go. Hi, baby boy. Ooh. I know his hair is like barely coming in. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see what kind of video I'll do. I'll probably do day with a newborn or something. So thank you so much for watching. I apologize for crying. It was really hard to talk about, but thank you. So stay tuned for the next video, and take care.